Manchester United fans, stop scrolling. Lucy Noella here. Big news just dropped at Old Trafford today. Before we get into it, make sure you like this video and subscribe so you never miss any United updates. Rumors like this are exactly why football never sleeps. Just when fans think they have heard it all, a claim appears that stops everyone in their tracks. Over the festive period, one of the most astonishing stories of the year surfaced from Spain. Manchester United, it was claimed, were preparing to smash their all-time transfer record and spend a mind-blowing $174 million to sign Jude Bellingham from Real Madrid. The idea alone was enough to send social media into meltdown, spark endless debates, and give supporters something dramatic to argue about during the holiday break. But as quickly as the story exploded, the reality came crashing down. Jude Bellingham is not just another big-name player. He is one of the most valuable footballers on the planet. Since arriving at Real Madrid from Borussia Dortmund in a deal worth around $90 million, the England star has gone from highly rated prospect to global superstar. Now, in his third season at the Bernabeu, Bellingham has delivered performances that fully justify the huge investment Real Madrid made in him. With 43 goals and 32 assists in just 120 appearances, his impact has been nothing short of sensational. For a midfielder still only 22 years old, those numbers are extraordinary. Despite this success, reports emerged suggesting that Manchester United were plotting a sensational move to make Bellingham the face of a new era at Old Trafford. According to those claims, United were willing to spend close to $200 million to lure him back to England, with Chelsea and Manchester City also said to be watching closely. The story painted a picture of Real Madrid potentially facing doubts over Bellingham's future, with the door supposedly open for a historic transfer. However, when the noise settled and reliable sources were contacted, the truth was very different. People close to Real Madrid and to the player himself were quick to shut the rumors down completely. In fact, the response from Madrid sources was brutally honest. The idea that Jude Bellingham could be leaving anytime soon was described as laughable. There were no negotiations, no hidden tensions, and no doubts behind the scenes. Real Madrid are delighted with Bellingham, and Bellingham is equally happy in Madrid. The England midfielder is seen as a central pillar of Real Madrid's future plans. Club president Florentino Perez views him as a long-term leader, someone who can carry the club forward for the next decade. While Bellingham did need a short period to adjust to Xabi Alonso's tactical system, he has now fully adapted and is once again one of the first names on the team sheet. His life off the pitch in Spain is also settled, helped further by the arrival of close friend Trent Alexander-Arnold in the Spanish capital, giving him a familiar presence away from the game. If there is any concern at all in Bellingham's mind heading toward 2026, it has nothing to do with club football. His only question mark revolves around his role with the England national team. Thomas Tuchel's arrival as England manager has sparked some tension, with reports suggesting the two have clashed in the past. While there is no serious belief that Bellingham will be dropped or sidelined, there has been speculation about how Tuchel plans to use him tactically, and whether he will be given the freedom that has made him so effective at club level. While Jude Bellingham remains firmly out of reach, Manchester United's interest in strengthening their midfield is very real. The club is preparing for significant changes in that area over the next 3 transfer windows. This is not a minor rebuild. It is a structural overhaul aimed at fixing long-standing problems that have held the team back. United are targeting younger, dynamic Premier League midfielders who can grow with the club rather than headline-grabbing superstars. Names like Adam Wharton, Carlos Baleba, and Elliot Anderson are all high on United's list. These players fit the profile United are now prioritizing: energy, athleticism, tactical intelligence, and long-term potential. Moves for these targets are more likely in the summer, something that has already been confirmed by respected transfer sources. The club's strategy is shifting away from emotional signings and toward building a more balanced squad. As part of this midfield reshuffle, uncertainty surrounds the future of Bruno Fernandes. Despite being captain and one of the most creative players at the club, his long-term role is no longer guaranteed. Fernandes has publicly expressed frustration with how he has been treated, adding weight to claims that major changes are coming. His comments have only reinforced the belief that United are entering a new phase where no player is untouchable. Meanwhile, outgoings are becoming just as important as arrivals. Manuel Ugarte, who arrived for a fee of around 50.7 million, could be on his way out far sooner than expected. Two of his international teammates have reportedly stepped in to influence his future, and a January exit is now gathering serious momentum. United appear open to moving him on if the right opportunity presents itself. Another name facing an uncertain future is Joshua Zirkzee. The Dutch forward has struggled to fully establish himself, and interest from Serie A is growing. Roma are pushing hard to bring him back to Italy, but new manager Ruben Amorim faces two major decisions before approving any deal. Zirkzee's departure would free up space in the squad, but United must be careful not to weaken their attacking options without a clear replacement in place. On the incoming side, attention is also turning to continental Europe. Reports from Italy suggest that Manchester United are increasingly confident of landing a French star in a deal worth around 50 million next summer. While details remain closely guarded, it underlines United's intention to strengthen smartly rather than chase impossible dreams. The Jude Bellingham story, while dramatic, ultimately highlights the gap between fantasy and reality in modern football reporting. Big names generate clicks, excitement, and endless debate. But not every rumor has substance. In this case, the idea of Manchester United signing Bellingham may sound thrilling, but it simply does not reflect the truth on the ground. For United fans, the real story is not about impossible signings, but about the steady, sometimes uncomfortable process of rebuilding. Changes are coming, big decisions will be made, some familiar faces may leave, and new ones will arrive with less fanfare but greater purpose. While Jude Bellingham remains a Real Madrid star and very much at home in Spain, Manchester United's future will be shaped by smarter planning, patience, and a clear vision. Football thrives on dreams, but success is built on reality. And right now, the reality is clear. Jude Bellingham is staying put, and Manchester United are focused on a different path forward, one that could finally lead them back to where they believe they belong. United fans have learned to expect noise whenever the transfer window approaches, and this time is no different. As the January window edges closer, speculation around Old Trafford is growing louder, especially when it comes to the midfield. Names are flying around. Rumors are spreading across social media, and once again, one familiar name has found its way back into the conversation: Ruben Neves. At first glance, the story sounds tempting. A proven Premier League midfielder, a former Wolves captain, and a player known for thunderous, long-range goals suddenly linked with a return to England. Add Manchester United into the mix, and you have the perfect recipe for excitement, debate, and controversy among fans. But as always in football, the truth sits somewhere between hope and hype. Manchester United's need to strengthen their midfield is not a secret. Anyone watching the team this season can see the gaps. Casemiro, once a key figure, is widely expected to leave in the summer. His influence has faded, and the club is already planning life beyond him. Bruno Fernandes, usually the heartbeat of the team, has struggled with injury, and when he is missing, United's creativity drops sharply. Meanwhile, Manuel Ugarte and Kobbie Mainoo, despite their talent, have not been trusted with consistent minutes, leaving the midfield looking unbalanced and uncertain. Because of this, United's recruitment team has been exploring options. Some of the most exciting young midfielders in the Premier League, including Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson, and Carlos Baleba, are firmly on their radar. The problem is timing. January is not a forgiving window, and these players would cost a huge amount of money mid-season. Their clubs have no reason to sell cheaply, and United, under financial pressure, are unlikely to overpay. This is where Ruben Neves suddenly fits the picture. Currently playing for Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, Neves is approaching the final months of his contract. By the summer, he could be available on a free transfer. Even before that, Al Hilal might be willing to let him go for a relatively low fee rather than risk losing him for nothing. From the outside, it looks like a smart, low-risk opportunity for United. Experience, leadership, and quality without breaking the bank. Reports began to surface, suggesting that Manchester United, along with Newcastle, were preparing offers. Some stories even claimed that Neves himself was keen to leave Saudi Arabia and return to European football, with Old Trafford viewed as a suitable and attractive destination. For fans desperate for midfield reinforcements, it all sounded very promising. However, this is where reality steps in. and Fabrizio Romano's words become crucial. Speaking directly on his YouTube channel, the respected transfer insider moved to clarify exactly what has happened behind the scenes. According to Romano, there has indeed been contact involving Manchester United and Ruben Neves, but it is nowhere near the level many supporters might be imagining. Romano made it clear that he did not post anything about Neves on his social media for a reason. There are no negotiations, no bids, and no advanced talks taking place. What United have done is speak with the agent who represents Ruben Neves. This same agent represents several top players and is one of the most influential figures in football. Conversations like this happen all the time, especially when clubs are exploring multiple options for the future. Importantly, Romano stressed that United have not opened real negotiations with either Neves or Al Hilal. There has been no move to agree personal terms, no discussion of transfer fees, and no signal that a deal is close. Instead, the conversation was more general, focused on ideas, opportunities, and potential talents. Neves was one of several names mentioned, not a priority target being actively pursued. This distinction matters. In modern football, clubs are constantly in touch with agents. These discussions do not always mean a transfer is coming. Often, they are simply about keeping doors open, gathering information, and understanding what options might exist in the future. In Neves' case, the contact was described as absolutely normal, given the power and reach of his agent. But as Romano clearly stated, nothing has really changed. That does not mean Neves will stay in Saudi Arabia forever. With his contract running down, the summer presents a natural exit point. He will have the opportunity to choose his next move, and a return to Europe seems likely if the right offer arrives. Whether Manchester United will still be interested at that stage is another question entirely. By the summer, United's situation could look very different. They may have more financial flexibility, more clarity on their managerial direction, and a stronger chance of landing one of their top Premier League targets. Players like Wharton, Anderson, or Baleba might become more realistic options when clubs are more willing to negotiate. In that scenario, Neves, despite his quality, may no longer be at the top of the list. There is also the question of fit. Neves brings leadership, composure, and a powerful shot, but United are trying to build a midfield that is younger, more athletic, and capable of pressing at a high level. While Neves would add experience, the club must decide whether he aligns with their long-term vision or represents a short-term solution. For now, the key takeaway is simple. Yes, Manchester United have made contact connected to Ruben Neves. No, it does not mean a transfer is imminent. There is no deal close, no advanced talks, and no reason to expect Neves to walk into Old Trafford in January. Much of the excitement has been driven by speculation, rather than concrete movement. As always, the January window will be unpredictable. Injuries, sudden opportunities, and changing priorities can shift plans overnight. But based on the clearest information available, United are still exploring their options rather than committing to one. Neves remains a name on a long list, not the answer to all of the club's midfield problems. In the end, this story is a reminder for fans to stay grounded. Transfers are rarely as simple as they appear on social media. Behind every rumor is a mix of interest, conversation, and possibility, but only a small number ever turn into real deals. Ruben Neves may yet return to the Premier League, and Manchester United could still be part of his future. For now, though, it is a case of watch, wait, and see, rather than celebrate or panic. As the window approaches, one thing is certain: the noise will only grow louder. But until talks turn into action, this is a story about contact, not commitment, and potential, not promise. Thanks for watching. Now I want to hear from you. What's your reaction to this United news? Drop a comment, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't miss the next update.